Hey there everybody, back again. Now we are going to take a little look at what they call star forts and star forts in Ireland. Just a quick look, okay? When I found out about these star forts, I didn't think there were any of them in Ireland until, of course, you know, the information superhighway, lots of people going out there and searching for them everywhere. And this one I believe is Burr Castle in Offaly. Now again, we're told an awful big load of lies about these places. They were built by the English. The British built them. Let me tell you something. Let me start off by saying the British never built anything. They went around the whole world smashing everything up. And here's one here down in Cork, down on the south coast. Pretty smashed up, pretty dilapidated. Looks the mud flooded to me. And this one's further up along the coast in Waterford, I believe. And if you ask me, this thing went out to sea like this and beyond, and it's been smashed up. Some force indeed. And this one is called Spike Island, on an island off the coast of Cork. And I believe it's used as a prison, okay? And this one, I forget what it's called, Elizabeth Fort or something like that. It's in the center of Cork City. And of course it's been camouflaged. And I mean, I knew a guy in Holland, he's 60 years old, and he's lived inside a star city in Holland for 50 years of his life, and he didn't even know it was there until I showed it to him. And here's another one in Cork. Again, destroyed, mud flooded. The surrounding areas that go out into the sea have been smashed up. I know this from looking at other I call them star ports, star stations, star structures. I don't call them forts because they were not used for defense. Now, if it's anything like any of the other ones around the world, they go out and they go out and out and out. Here's another one in Cork. I think it's called Carlisle Fort. And it's pretty much smashed up as well, you know, lying all over the place. And this one here is called, can't remember, it's lying out in the middle of some farmer's field in County Meath, close to the River Boyne, where John from This Irish Life channel did a very good video on the topography and the surrounding areas of this River Boyne, which I agree with him with his claim that it was a canal, and it's a part of the system that serviced all these forts. Now this is mud flooded, this is covered in it, and when I get back there to Ireland, I definitely want to go and visit this one. Now we are in Kinsale, and this is a pretty you know, it's still in good condition, it's intact, but again, I reckon it went out here, and some force has it all blasted all away. Yeah. And don't believe the lies that you see on these dates. And this is called the Magazine Fort. It's in the Phoenix Park in Dublin. It's on a mound, again, built by the British, blah, blah, blah. And now it's Irish Army Wars military storage facility. If you look at these things up close, the buildings in them are dilapidated. And this one here is away up north. It's on the Inishowen Peninsula. I forget what they call it, but it has been shattered. And they say, of course, oh look, gun turrets for blowing ships out of the water. If I was in a ship, I would just stay out of the way of the cannons. But people came right up in their ships to get themselves blown out of the water by gun turrets. This is all HS. H stands for horse, by the way. I'm just going to play a little bit of this footage here now. You can see red brick, chimneys sticking up out of the ground. The fort is shattered. The moats are gone. The red brick still exists. But look at the mess on the ground. They smashed the place to pieces and then gave us a big bullshit story about who did it, where it came from, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this isn't just about star forts. This video is about Ireland's centuries of lies, the Empire of RUS. The Empire of RUS. Now you can take a look. There's no point. You've seen star forts before. It's a mess. Look at it from the sky. And make of it what you will. There's your gun turrets and all your little cabins. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Here's a video from Campbell from yesterday. He just showed a lot of star forts in a row, and this one is on the top of a mountain in India. Oh yeah, so the English climbed up this mountain and they built that, yeah. I'm not sure where this is. I would take a guess and say probably Holland, but they have the very same things in many other parts of the world, but it could be Holland, I'm not too sure. And another, just to give you a bit of the size of what you're looking at, the enormity of them. That's a bus. I'm not sure, this could be Holland also, it could be USA. Could be Japan. And this is quite typical of what you'll see in Holland. It's one of these places my friend lived inside, but this is a small one compared to the others. But the geometry is something else. The point I'm trying to get at is, there was an old world empire that put all these structures together. So many people say it was the Tartarians. I can't say for sure whether it was the Tartarians or not. And another. And I mean, did the Eskimos call themselves Eskimos? Did the original people of Australia call themselves Aborigines? Did the Hindus call themselves Hindus? No, these were all names put upon them by their oppressors. Did they call the Tartarians Tartarians because of Tartarus, their reference to hell, so that they could label these people as bad? So whether they called themselves Tartarians or not, I can't say. But I'm going to go along with Philip Drusen in here, because he claims that the empire was called the Empire of RUS. And that fits in with a hell of a lot like the Etruscans, which we've been lied to about, and the Romans who say they existed and we've been lied to about them. I reckon the Etruscans were a worldwide empire, the Empire of RUS. A single civilization, and they're responsible for building all of these places. Okay, I'm going to get to that now. I got proof. Yeah, they're beautiful. They're everywhere. And let's get into them. So, is there anything to this story of the Empire of RUS? And did the Empire of RUS leave any evidence of its existence anywhere? Now, I've got 3 maps here in front of me. This one here is the official road map of Ireland. Okay? Now, you might not be able to see this too well, but I'm bringing it up under R. Okay, this isn't great. Looking at these towns, okay? Now look at all these towns in Ireland. Russ-on-Meal, Russ-Beg, Russ-Cahill, Russ-Dumnock, Russ-Muck, Russ-Apena, Russ-Bircon, Russ-Gat, Russ-Common, Russ-Cray, Russ-Green, Rosewood, Roseneils, Rosemult, Russ-Nakill, Russ-Bay, Russ-Carbery, Russ-Dumnock, Russ-West, Russ-Drehid, Russ-Aneen, Russ-Bryn, Russ's Point, Russler, Russ, all the way down to here. And then you've got even Rush, and you've Rusheen and Rushini. So, did the Empire of RUS come to Ireland and leave its history behind in the names of our towns? Somebody did, yeah. Here's a map of Britain. Now, this is not going to be easy to see either because it's very small writing. But again, let's have a look here at RUS. There we go, it starts down here. So towns that begin with RUS, Start down here, Ross Croggan, Rose, Rose Ash, Rose Kerr, Rose Bush, Rose Borough, Rosefield. Oops, fuck. And then you go on the other side, you've got more Rosses. You have Ross, 30 of them. Any evidence of the existence of the Empire of RUS in Britain? Now, what else have I got here? I got a map of France. Okay? Any references to the Empire of RUS? Oh, look at here. Let's get over here onto the right hand side. Starts up here. Rosazia, Rosebrook, Roscanville, Rosier, Rosny, all the way. There must be another 20 of them, okay? Now, I had a big map of Europe here for the rest of Europe. I can't find it at the minute, but there are dozens of Rosses all over Europe. Okay? Now, is it true? Did we have the Empire of RUS worldwide? Oh, America, Mount Rushmore. Roswell. What happened in Roswell? What's Roswell? What's a well? A well is a well of water, an oil well, a well of souls, but definitely a reservoir. And Roswell, Rushmore. Hold on a minute. Yeah, even that park in Dublin where you had that fort called the Magazine Fort was in the Phoenix Park. Phoenix. Now, according to many well-educated historians, Martin Liedtke, Philip Druzinen in particular, has come up with the Empire of RUS, okay? Martin Liedtke has, as he calls them, Tartarians, which, you know, you can call them Tartarians. They say that the Phoenicians took over. They took over the whole world. And that's why I brought up that name there, the Phoenix, a second ago. And you have Venice, which is the Venetians, and then they became the Venetians. And you have many places around the world that they call after themselves. You've got Finland, you've got Phoenix in Arizona, you've got Venezuela, you've got many others. But in Ireland, we have got 3 main political parties. One of them is called Fianna Fáil. And if you could actually say that correctly, you'd say Fianna Fáil, yeah? The other one is called Fine Gael. And many people call them the Fine Girl Party. Another one is called Sinn Féin. Those that were the political group of that 3-letter CIA-sponsored operation that we had in Ireland for 30 years. And then they had gangs of roaming bandits that they were called Fenians. Yeah? Now, let me show you all how to spell Fianna Fáil properly. Okay? That's how you should spell it. Because that's who they are. Ireland was handed fake independence by the British 100 years ago. And we've had the same mob that run Britain, the Phoenicians, running Ireland since then. So there's your Fianna Fáil party. Now, let me go over to your Fianna Gael party. Who are they? Fianna Gael. Same mob. They have been robbing and stealing from the Irish people for 100 years. Do you know that our taxes go to the Crown? Do you know that our court fines go to the Crown? Wake up, Ireland! And then you have these bastards, Sinn Féin. How do you spell that? That's how you spell it. Sinn Féin. Hiding in plain sight. Best place to hide. Hide in plain sight. Give them a few words that make them believe they're ours. And look at these bastards. Yeah? Terrorized the countryside. A Vatican militia. And this was all beaten into us in school. That's how you spell Fenians. This was beaten into us in school by armed Vatican militia. Armed with sticks and belts. And they beat this shit into us. Right? I wonder how they're getting along at the minute. We are going to have to challenge the narrative. We're going to have to challenge the professors of history, geography, science, languages, especially the professors of history at the big universities in Ireland, Trinity College, University College Dublin, Cork, blah, 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 wherever, okay, on your six-figure sum salary, 300 grand, telling lies to students, filling them full of historical lies, of a false narrative of our nation. St. Patrick came 1500 years ago. Who the fuck was he? What is he doing 1500 years ago coming on? Well, who knows what happened 1500 years ago? Who knows what happened 500 years ago? Oh, Ireland has been, suppressed and under the British for centuries, and we, the Irish Roman Catholics, we have had to fight them and gain our independence. Have you shit? You're all in it together. And I'm claiming now that the Catholic Church, the Holy Roman Empire, did not set foot in Ireland until after the 1800s. Now, I was raised by Catholics, right? Even though my ancestors are Catholic and Protestant, I in fact have Catholic and Protestant ancestors both buried in the same graveyard in Northern Ireland. I can stand in the middle of the road. Now, I want to get through to my Protestant brothers in Northern Ireland that this lot are from hell, and they came in here 200 years ago and fed us a 1500-year-old narrative full of shit, that they came in here and they've had to fight for 1,000 years to get their independence. Like shit. Anyway, I'm getting wrapped up here. So that's what they say. They say the Irish people were running around in skirts and spears and attacking wildfire, hitting wild boar with arrows and, lying blue scum bellies. I've been watching Outlaw Josie Wales, yeah? So, anyway, Rome must go. And they have to leave all the land and property that they stole behind, yeah? The bar has to go. The British Accredited Registry, a pirate organization registered in Puerto Rico, which is not a nation or not a state. It is an annex of the District of Columbia, and it always was a pirate island. Democracy is another foreign imported concept that's been brought into our country. Oh no, democracy was invented by the Greeks 4,000 years ago. Was it? Fuck! There was no Greece 4,000 years ago. There wasn't even a Greece 100 years ago. Democracy is a foreign imported imposition upon the people of our land. And who runs Ireland now? These bastards. These bastards. These bastards. And these bastards. You're going to have to kick the Phoenicians out. You have to decipher the history that we have been taught. Yeah. So, you can call them Tartarians. I'm going along with Philip Drusenin that it was the Empire of RUS and the Etruscans that have been in Ireland, all over the whole world, right up until the Phoenicians knocked them out sometime between the 1600s and the 1800s. Now, they say, oh, the Etruscans were Italian, they were Roman, but they don't know anything about them. Anyone who can speak Polish can read Etruscan. The most common surname in Italy is Rossi. So, you want to call them Tartarians, go ahead. I'm going with the Empire of RUS. I'm saying that they built all these star structures all over the world. The ones in Japan are identical to the ones in Holland. The ones they exist in this middle of the desert in Australia. They are on the northern tip of Canada. They're on the southern tip of South America. They're in the middle of the jungle. There's one in Uruguay, 26 kilometers wide. There's one just off the coast of Louisiana, south of Louisiana. It's 50 miles long. The British built it? Get the fuck. We have all been set up as constructs, set up to be torn down. We are the people of the land of Erin. Once you say you're Irish or you live in the Republic of Ireland, you walk straight into their jurisdiction. You're consenting to be under their jurisdiction. These names are made up names. Ireland is a made up name. Irish is a made up name. When you use these names, you're under their canopy. We got to break out of it, right? We are the people of the land of Erin. We got to break this Ireland and Republic of Ireland shit. That was a bit of a rant. So look all this stuff up yourselves. These people have been hiding in plain sight. They've stolen our world.